Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and unpack what is, without a doubt, the most mathematically bizarre match of IPL 2026. We're talking about match 67, that final league stage showdown at the Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Royal Challengers Bengaluru. Now, on the surface, it totally just looked like your standard, high-scoring T20 thriller, right? But honestly, beneath all those massive sixes and tumbling wickets, we were watching a gripping, insanely high-stakes game of 40 chess.
I mean, it sounds completely impossible. How on earth do you take an absolute beating, lose by 55 runs, and still celebrate in the dugout like you just won the whole championship? Well, to understand Royal Challengers Bengaluru's totally paradoxical celebration here, we have to look really closely at the math. This wasn't just about grabbing 2 points for a win. No, this was a highly technical battle for those coveted top 2 spots in the playoffs, which, as we know, gives a team 2 vital chances to reach the final.
So, going into this final league stage game, the standings were just in absolute chaos. Just a day earlier, Gujarat Titans had completely obliterated the Chennai Super Kings by 89 runs over in Ahmedabad, and that massive margin tied everything up at 18 points right across the top of the table. Suddenly, simple wins and losses mattered a whole lot less than the specific margins of those results. Literally everything came down to the ultimate tiebreaker, net run rate.
And the objectives for these two teams, they just couldn't have been more different. Sunrisers wasn't just trying to win the game. They essentially needed a mathematical miracle. Sitting with a net run rate of plus .350, they had to win by at least 87 runs just to leapfrog RCB into that top 2. Meanwhile, Bengaluru faced this completely different, almost weird reality. They didn't even need to win the match. They simply had to cross a specific 166-run threshold to survive the NRR drop and hold on to their spot.
The Orange Army Carnage. SRH goes all out for 255 for 4.
So Sunrisers Hyderabad knew exactly what they had to do. Pat Cummins even admitted at the toss that getting top 2 was a massive long shot, but they were absolutely going to give it a go by throwing up a mammoth total. And the sheer firepower unleashed by their top order to post that colossal 255 for 4, it really reflects that absolute desperation. They didn't just score, they batted with this ferocious intent, knowing literally every single run added to that crazy 87-run winning margin they needed.
The carnage started right away in the power play. Abhishek Sharma was just fearless. I mean, he attacked right from the outset, refusing to give the RCB bowlers even a second of breathing room. He targeted Suyash Sharma beautifully, clearing the boundary over and over, and secured this blistering 22-ball 56. He actually brought up his 50 in just 20 deliveries. It gave SRH the exact explosive launchpad they desperately needed.
Then, down the order, Heinrich Klaassen acted as the destructive backbone of the innings. He absolutely dismantled the RCB pace attack in the middle and late overs, smashing 51 runs off just 24 balls. At one point, he casually hit 3 maximums in a single over against Josh Hazelwood. Crazy, right? This was his 6th half-century of the tournament, which pushed his season total to an incredible 555 runs. He was the enforcer who made sure SRH's total soared well past 250.
Ishan Kishan's milestone match, a career-defining knock against RCB.
Now, while Abhishek and Klaassen were providing all those explosive fireworks, the true anchor of the SRH innings was Ishan Kishan. He walked in when they were 45 for 1 and just proceeded to stitch together these massive partnerships, 52 with Abhishek and a whopping 113 with Klaassen. And the really crucial takeaway here is that during this whirlwind 46-ball 79, which included 8 4s and 3 6s by the way, Kishan crossed a monumental milestone. With his 12th run of the match, he officially passed the 3,500 career IPL run mark.
It's honestly a real testament to his incredible journey in this league. Starting back with the now-defunct Gujarat Lions, he went on to build a massive legacy, winning 2 titles and scoring over 2,300 runs with the Mumbai Indians. And now, he is fully justifying his massive 11.25 crore rupee price tag for Hyderabad. In this very match, he also crossed 500 runs for the season, and he's operating at a staggering strike rate of over 180. Just phenomenal.
Bengaluru's tactical target, chasing 166, not 256. Okay, so when Bengaluru walked out to bat, the psychology of the match got truly fascinating. Like we said, they weren't looking at that massive 256 on the board. Their absolute ceiling was just 166 to lock in the #1 overall seed. This was a calculated mission execution. It wasn't about reckless hitting, it was entirely about measured progression. Now, there was a brief scare when Virat Kohli fell in the power play, And actually, quick side note here, Kohli's just 58 runs away from a record 4 consecutive 600-plus run seasons, so his early exit was definitely a shock. RCB found themselves at 75 for 2 after 6 overs, but they never panicked. They stuck to the math.
Instead of collapsing under the sheer pressure of that 256-run scoreboard, RCB relied on very specific, targeted contributions and incredible discipline. They got a berserk early blitz from Venkatesh Iyer, who smashed 44 off just 18 balls. Then, their returning captain, Rajat Patidar, brought this calm stability with a half-century off 37 balls, and he was perfectly supported by Kruno Pandya's unbeaten 41. Together, they safely guided RCB right across that 166-run threshold in the 18th over. Mission accomplished.
A surprising twist in this high-scoring affair that we absolutely have to note, because it really highlights just how unbelievably good the batting was on both sides, is that the premium pacers for both teams were completely neutralized. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, who came into the match literally leading the purple cap race with 24 wickets, went for 0 for 51, and RCB's Josh Hazlewood, he went for 0 for 55. On a pitch that essentially played like a concrete highway, even the absolute best in the world struggled to make a dent. Sometimes, you just have to tip your hat to the batters and quietly hide your bowling figures.
The net run rate twist. 3 teams, 18 points, 1 calculator.
So this brings us to the final, totally paradoxical math of the night. RCB finished their 20 overs at 200 for 4, meaning, yes, they lost the game by a massive 55 runs. Yet, the Bengaluru dugout was entirely calm because they knew exactly what they had just achieved. The math worked out flawlessly for them. Because they crossed that 166-run mark, they successfully insulated their net run rate. So, despite taking a heavy loss, they finish on 18 points with an NRR of plus 0.783, keeping them just ahead of Gujarat Titans and securing that highly coveted #1 spot. Meanwhile, SRH, despite executing a flawless victory, are left sitting in 3rd place.
It is the absolute textbook definition of winning the battle but losing the war. Sunrisers Hyderabad played a near-perfect game of T20 cricket. They batted aggressively, they executed their plans, and they won by a super commanding margin. But they were structurally outmaneuvered by Bangaluru's overarching tournament strategy. And honestly, the takeaway here is profound, whether you're managing a sports team, running a business, or even just playing a board game. Sometimes your ego is screaming at you to chase the impossible 256, but cold, hard discipline tells you to just play the numbers.
It leaves us with a genuinely fascinating strategic question to ponder as we head into the playoffs. In a format totally obsessed with winning every single time you step onto the pitch, is having the discipline to execute a calculated tactical loss actually the ultimate sign of a championship-winning team? Think about that as these teams prepare for the knockouts. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and definitely keep your calculators handy for the playoffs.